recording?
Yes, we are recording.
I'll try to be real nice to it. Look at that. There's the light.
Yeah, so we have this kind of picture-perfect footage of a crack. A worst-case scenario, but I think it's very well diagnosed by now. At this point, I feel like the science program is dead, and we should really focus on getting all the people out safely.
Understanding what has happened in our pasts helps us predict our futures. This is particularly true when we want to understand how climates will change. Knowing how big or small ice sheets were in our pasts can give us a picture of what their size will be in coming years and how these changes will affect sea levels. We care because hundreds of millions of people are threatened by rising sea level. To many, ice sheets, like the Greenland ice sheet, are some of the most inhospitable places on Earth. But the rocks beneath them hold answers to important questions like, when was the last time that the ice sheet had melted away? A few years before, a rock sample from under the Greenland ice sheet suggested that this was far more recent than some might think.
The bedrock tells us that the Greenland ice sheet has not been stable. Over a geological period where we before were reasonably confident that it was stable. It really switched the Greenland ice sheet from a feature that we were slightly worried about to become basically patient number one of the climate crisis. Realizing that this ice sheet is decaying in front of our eyes, and it has done so in the past, under climate forcing that was not as severe as we have it right now. As a scientist and a geochemist, if you get these data coming in, you are super excited because you know you are successful in providing something that is super important. Simultaneously, it was immediately clear that the message will be very dire. And now we have the tools, and it's our job to diagnose where are the most vulnerable areas. The biggest obstacle here and the biggest challenge is kind of the sampling. So we have to drill through 600 meters of ice to get to this bedrock. And then we ideally need a core that is several meters long.
Yeah, where to start? Well, with climate change impacting everybody's daily lives now, what's harder to predict is how it will impact our lives in the future. Mainly one of those uncertainties relates to sea level rise. And when we think about future sea level rise, we think about the melting of the ice sheets that are on our planet today. So the first time I went to Greenland was in 2008. We worked at Jakobshavn Isbrae, this very large glacier that's just spitting out vast quantities of ice into the ocean. And it created ice that moved into the sea so fast, it calves off icebergs at such a rate that you can't even tell where the ocean ends and the ice sheet begins. That process, the magnitude of that is enormous. I can't compare it to what astronauts may have thought when they looked back and saw Earth from space, but it's that kind of magnitude feeling that's like, wow, it's pretty humbling.
Green Drill is a really large and collaborative project that is looking at the history of ice on Greenland, on the rock of Greenland.
And using the isotope systems that we work with, the only way that we can understand that is by getting bedrock from beneath the ice sheet. the Earth is being bombarded by cosmic rays, which are these high energy particles that originate in outer space. And when they interact with minerals in rocks, they create these rare isotopes that we don't otherwise find on Earth. And we know the rate at which these cosmogenic nuclides are produced. So if we can measure their concentrations, we can calculate how long that sample or that piece of rock has been exposed to the atmosphere or exposed to the cosmic ray flux, or in other words, how long a landscape has been ice-free.